Good morning, everyone. This is Chrystal.
Morning, Chrystal.
I will be speaking about the Reinvigorating Succession Planning. All right. Okay, so I just want to give you a very brief overview and history of succession planning at NJDOT. In 2000, due to the massive retirement of key staff with institutional knowledge, NJDOT created its succession planning program, which was the first of its kind in New Jersey government. Some of you may be familiar with succession planning, others may not, but the purpose of succession planning at DOT was to develop and recruit a pool of leadership candidates to be available for selection to leadership positions considered critical to transportation policy making and to the success of the department's strategic workforce and business plan. Participation in the succession planning process was not required, it was voluntary, and nor was it a guarantee of selection in filling leadership vacancies. Some of the key areas for having our succession planning program to be effective and successful was that it was supported by the commissioner at the time, who was Jack Latier, and our senior leadership team. The program was implemented in 2001 through the Division of Employee Support, which was an arm of the Division of Human Resources. And it was managed by the director, a manager, and 3 staff. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so one of the things that we did, I was part of the creation of I didn't create the bureau or the division, but I was one of the original staff when the division was created. So what we did a lot of homework and research, and we created a mission statement for the Bureau of Succession Planning, and it was linked directly to the mission of the department to ensure that we were aligned with the business plan of the department. Next, what we did was we created a succession planning steering committee, which was composed of our leadership team, members of our leadership team. The deputy commissioner was a part of it. We had 2 assistant commissioners, 2 directors. The director of employee support was an ex officio member, and the director of civil rights was a permanent member to ensure equity in the process. And the manager of succession planning served as the secretary to the committee. So in looking at the mission of succession planning and linking it to NJDOT's mission, overall mission, we developed core competencies with senior leadership in the development of the program and looking at individuals who would probably be a good fit. And some of the core competencies that we looked at were leadership, business knowledge, people management, individual values, quality-focused management. So once we developed those core competencies, we developed profiles for SES positions, because that was really the focus of the original succession planning program, was to have individuals apply for senior executive services positions as they became available. And then what we did was we created the application process. And the application process was a little stringent. And we looked at people who had at least 2 years of supervisory or managerial experience, either within or outside of the department. And they did have to have a professional title that required a bachelor's degree. And also we did request that they were nominated by someone in the department who was a leader or manager leader. So that was the process, and we reviewed the applications. The steering committee voted on them, and that was part of the entry to participation in the program, which was a 2-year program that they had to commit to. Next slide, please. Okay, so once they gained participation in the program, we worked with them, meaning the staff of the Succession Planning Bureau. We worked with them in developing individual development plans focused on their own career goals. And within those individual plans, Zenobia had mentioned SMART goals. We had different training workshops for them, lunch and learns, and we had them to develop goals for themselves, which were SMART, measurable, achievable or attainable, realistic, and time-framed. And then they had additional development tools, which included training through HR. They could go on to, as other individuals in the department could as well, go on to get their master's degree or any other certifications. We exposed them to different presentations. We had guest lecturers come in just to help shape them and prepare them for leadership in the organization. Excuse me. And next, one of the really key components of the succession planning program was the mentoring program. And I'm proud to say I was the coordinator of that program. I developed that program, and it was extremely successful because the key focus was linking current employees to those who were very experienced. In the event that they retired, they could help them in gaining understanding of institutional knowledge and processes that were effective in the department. So the mentoring program was very beneficial. We did ask them to commit to the partnership for 1 year. And after 1 year, they could transition out of that partnership and get a new mentor. So it was very beneficial. A lot of people enjoyed it. Once again, these additional development tools were not required, but they were highly recommended. And I'd say about 95% of the participants participated in the mentoring program. Next, we had task force assignments for the participants. They would participate in, they would visit other divisions, units, do presentations to strengthen their soft skills, their presentation skills. They'd also do different assignments, working in conjunction with other areas. So it was a very, very robust program, and it greatly benefited the participants and the department. So, all right, let me say this. The program was discontinued in 2010 due to a change in administration. I'm not really sure. By that time, I had left and I relocated to the Division of Civil Rights to work in the Title VI and ADA program. But it was a very, very successful program. And I'd like to now talk a little bit about a pilot for a potential program. If you can go to the next slide. Yeah, the potential pilot. So once again, based on what I had mentioned earlier, it should be supported, totally supported by the commissioner and senior leadership. And it should be based on strategic and workforce development plan. And it should definitely have a diversity in its participants based on race and gender. I have to say that I am a civil rights practitioner and I believe in equity. Also, this time around, I recommend that it be a two-tiered program, simply because we did get some pushback in the department, to be honest, because some people felt that it was an elitist type of program, that it was for some and not for others. And that was not true. We really, as a steering committee, we ensured that the Director of Civil Rights was a permanent member, to ensure equity in the program. But this time around, it would be great to have the executive level, which targets the SES positions as before, but also create a professional level program, which is targeted for professional positions. And that could include people who do not currently have a degree, but are working toward a degree, or through their work experience, they have obtained professional positions. So from that professional level, they can then evolve into the executive level. So what I'd like to say, though, is establishing a systemic succession planning can entail a culture change. And it can be a major shift in an organization where decision makers may have been accustomed to filling one vacancy at a time. Now, I don't want to be naive here. We do know that in state government, as in private industry, succession planning goes on all the time. People pick their successor, and it's done informally. However, if the department does resurrect the succession planning program, it will require a long-term strategic view of the talent's needs, and it will send a positive message throughout the workforce that promoting people is good for morale. And to have a formal system in place, the organization will have a clearer sense of the strengths of its internal candidates and enable them to make informed selections and promotion decisions. So to end this portion, I'd like to say that an effective succession planning program in government can be ongoing and a dynamic process, not static or a one-time objective. It not only empowers employees to achieve their professional goals, but also supports organizational goals. And it's essential in today's competition for talent. So as far as succession planning being transferable to local governments, yes, it can be. Using a similar template that we use here, or that we used in the department, I think it can be very, very effective. You just want to make sure that the people who are serving on your steering committee have an open mind, open to diversity, and open to looking throughout the department for those next leaders. Are there any questions? That's it for me.
Thank you very much, Chrystal. Yes, if there are any questions for Chrystal or Michelle or any of our CIA team leads at this time, please let it be known. Helene, is there anything in the chat?
There isn't anything in the chat, just my notes in the chat. But there are no questions in the chat, just my stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to make a couple of shout outs here, because I saw someone in the chat.
Sure.
What I'd like to say is that this program was extremely effective in that many of the people who are currently in leadership within our organization went through our succession planning program. I don't want to leave anyone out who may be on the call, but I just want to briefly highlight a few of them. Our Deputy Commissioner, Joe Bertoni, went through the program, Assistant Commissioner Mike Russo, our directors, Elkins Green, Laine Rankin, Bob Marshall, Victor Akpu. So not to say that they would not have achieved the status and leadership that they have today without the program. They did benefit from the program in some way, and it helped to groom them for where they are in 2021, and that was 21 years ago. So congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Chrystal. Chrystal, there's a question from Laine Rankin. She's interested in knowing when phase 2, the new phase might be starting up. Sounds like a really positive thing. So I think Laine's wondering when that might be starting up.
Sure. I can address that. I can't necessarily answer it. But what I want to say is that succession planning is about a lot more than increasing employee training, and nor should it be the exclusive responsibility of the human resource department. However, in the past, there was a division that was specifically created for that process, which was employee support. We no longer have that department within the department. So that would be something that human resources would have to initiate. I am available to assist if you want. And also, like I said, as a civil rights practitioner to ensure equity in how the program is being rolled out, the Division of Civil Rights is here to assist in that. But one of the things the department is going to have to figure out is how will this be rolled out? How will it be implemented? Who is going to have oversight of this? And in most organizations, succession planning, a formal succession planning program is housed in human resources. So that's a conversation, that I guess our senior leadership team commissioner can have with our HR department. But as I said, I am available to assist in any way that I can.
Sounds like a really great program, and I like the lessons learned with the 2 different levels, the SES level and the professional level. I really like that 2-tiered sort of approach, because some people they don't aspire to be SES, they don't want to be SES. So
exactly.
It's nice to see the 2 different levels. Hopefully that'll get started up soon.
Yes, that would be nice.
Okay. So if there are no comments or questions or feedback at this time, I'm going to move to the next